Hi, welcome. I'm Dr. Angie Willakala, CEO and founder of Healing Agents International. And on today's segment, we have joining me my good friend, Dr. Claire O'Neill. She's a chiropractor for a very long time. I've known
Not that old.
I've known her for over 15 years. And she's also a clinical thermographer. Say it again.
Thermologist or thermographer.
Yes, so she is here going to share with us what is the whole deal with thermography and how important it is to do thermography versus a mammogram. And she's going to just lay out all the myths and the questions for us today. So Dr. Claire, thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me part of Tea and Coffee with Dr. Angie. I think that this is a great honor, so I appreciate it.
Yes, awesome. So you started this, you said you've been doing this for over 5 years. So tell us a little bit about how you got started doing this.
Well, actually, I've been studying with one of the pioneers in thermography, and he actually got into it back in 1965, and that's Dr. George Chapman. And what's happened is I had a very close friend of mine go through a very horrific decade. To the end result, and the horrific decade, of course, was with breast cancer, and she ended up passing, and I experienced that with her for those 10 years, and I was remiss. So my goal is to get out there and kind of make up for what I did wrong, because I've never had a mammogram, and I knew not to do it, but she was part of the VA, and you know, there are just some stories or subjects you can't cross, and I wasn't loud enough. And to let her know how important thermography is for the early detection of breast cancer, etc. And somebody with your history, you so understand it more, and that's why, you know, we need to be out there to save as many women's lives as possible, because we need them to be like you, to be out there spreading the word and talking about infrared thermography.
Yeah, and really just having women taking their own initiative and, you know, going to the doctor. I just had a new family that we're working with that she was telling the doctor, no, I think I need to be tested, and sure enough, she did have breast cancer. So women's intuition is definitely there.
It's huge.
And you were telling me when we talked about this, I mean, thermography, well, first explain what it is. It's basically a picture. And
so what it is infrared thermography is reading heat emissions coming off the body. So it is a camera, such as the cool camera you have out, you know, here, which is literally feet away. And when you're looking at mammograms are actually a machine that are actually on you and compressing that delicate soft breast tissue, which of course is very important for hormones, and it is direct contact radiation. So the amazing thing about infrared thermography is first, there's no contact. Second, there is no side effect. Where the side effect of mammogram is breast cancer, but it's there to detect breast cancer. It's kind of the many ironies, and what I laugh because I used to be part of the medical profession, how ironic the medical profession is. They create a machine to detect breast cancer that causes breast cancer. It's kind of the game medicine is really good at. So when you're looking at how infrared thermography does, it actually works 4 ways that are much better for the for the woman and man. By the way, there are men out there getting breast cancer too. First of all, no radiation, no side effect, no compression. It's a camera that's reading off. The other important thing is that the average people don't understand is when you're doing a mammogram, mammograms are only dealing with the fleshy part of the breast.
Right.
Only 30% of breast cancer is found there. See, the other 70% is found up here in the upper quadrants and going into the axilla.
Yeah.
All of this is breast tissue. So you are doing a mammogram that could cause breast cancer, and it's only detecting 30% of breast cancer. The other 70% are seen by infrared thermography. That's one thing that's very important.
Yeah.
Because 70% is getting missed by mammograms. The other thing is mammogram, ultrasound, MRI, even your self-breast exam, you have to have a lump. So that means that those cancer cells have to replicate up to 5 to 8 years before that lump is big enough to be seen by any of those screening devices. Now, breast cancer is a 15-year disease in most cases. So it's been growing inside you up to 8 years before it can actually be detected. Infrared thermography is amazing. It's not what we call anatomical, where you have to have the tumor. We're actually seeing the process called angiogenesis, that the cancer creates
Yes.
its own blood supply.
Exactly.
So we're seeing it in the early stages within the first year. And here's another kicker. It actually will find things like a hormone imbalance and other breast conditions that can lead to breast cancer. So we use the term precursor. So if I find a hormone imbalance in you, 93% of the time, right, that's an estrogen dominant hormone imbalance. And estrogen, too much estrogen, is a precursor, or it leads to breast cancer. So if I can catch that precursor,
Yes.
then you as the chiropractor, the patient, all can take all of the right supplements, exercise, all the right care, so that hormone imbalance doesn't come over here
Exactly.
to cause a problem. So there are a lot of amazing things about thermography.
Yeah. So it's definitely very preventative, and the cost is $100.
It's minimal. Hold
Yeah.
on.
So for sure, and you've been and you're in LA. So for those of you that want to find Dr. Claire, she's in LA.
I'm in LA, I'm in Newport, and I'm in San Diego.
Wow, look at you. It's awesome. So she's definitely doing her thing. I can't say enough about the thermography because it really helped me, because I didn't have a lump or a bump. I felt a thickening in my tissue.
There you go.
So
Right.
I also was like telling the doctor, no, feel this right here, because as a chiropractor, our hands are we know what's the difference is going on. So thermography really helped me during my 3-year break to just kind of monitor things, keep an eye on things.
Very good.
So I want to make sure that those of you that are wondering or have never had a mammogram, check out thermography first. It's very invasive. Dr. Claire is definitely the expert in that. I love what you talked about, how you, because it's temperature, and you actually put the hands in ice water that a lot of doctors don't do.
Well,
right?
it's what I want is I want cool water, because my goal is, as I said, infrared thermography is reading a physiological response, which is the angiogenesis process.
Right.
So we first want to take a first set of scans, and then we'll put the hands in the cool water. The
Right.
reason being is our innate intelligence knows our normal blood supply. So our normal blood supply will leave our extremities, hands, feet, breasts included, and of course we'll go to our organs to keep our organs warm. You know that's part of the normal physiological response. When I have the early stages of cancer growing, it will actually create its own blood supply through a process called angiogenesis. That is one of the amazing things we can pick up on infrared thermography. And what that does is, when I put the hands in the cool water and I take the second set of scans, and I'm looking for temperatures to decrease, vascular patterns to change, I'm looking for symmetry from right to left breast. And when I'm seeing those, because if cancer is growing, that blood supply will not go to the organs. It will stay and continue to feed the cancer.
Yeah,
so
that's
we
what
can
it's
catch it at the very beginning before it gets to that huge replication state.
Yeah. And that's huge. Just cancer's fighting it off, getting to just helping your body heal at all levels.
Exactly,
right?
because the body knows, the body's immune system has been fighting cancer since we were born. And so we're looking at helping that immune system catch it at the early stages. One of the other questions that you and I had talked about is, you had mentioned about age.
Yes.
And everybody thinks that, it's about, like when I was telling you about my girlfriend, she was actually 35 when they found it, and she had passed before the age of 45. I will let you know, breast cancer is the #1 killer of women from the ages of 35 to 45. Mammograms, they have now moved it. They don't want you to get one until you're 50, and they don't want you to get it annually anymore because it's causing so much breast cancer. Well, here's the kicker. We're finding breast cancer in 12-year-old girls.
Yeah.
They're finding lumps. They're coming to infrared thermography because you can't do a mammogram. And because of all the soys and the hormones in the foods,
Yeah.
and the birth control pill we're giving the girls for their acne and for their, menstrual cycle problems, that is hormone replacement therapy, which is
A trigger
affects
for
your
that.
estrogen, which is going to add to this. So my daughter's 15. She's already had her therm, and she will get them annually, because infrared thermography, you want to watch breast
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
This is what it's about. It's not about breast cancer, because
Exactly.
It's
Thank
about
you.
breast health.
Yeah.
My job is to follow your breast health throughout the decades on an annual basis. I find something that's not working right. I tell you, I said, okay, Dr. Angie, your patient, she's got hormone imbalance. And you get to say, woohoo, I have a lot of things I can do for her.
Let's get
That's
on
what
it.
I want. It's about breast health.
Yeah.
So age, honey, once they hit puberty, and gosh, even if you're in your 20s, you have to start thinking of your breast health now.
Yeah.
Please, 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 please.
Yes.
So that's what we want to follow.
Yes.
We want to follow your
Isn't
breast
she
health.
amazing? Amazing. Dr. Claire O'Neill. Find her on her website at thermographywellnesscenter.com, Dr. Claire O'Neill, and she's also got her office there. It's still Glenn Feliz, right?
It's still Glenn Feliz Chiropractic and Thermography Wellness Center.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. So please leave your comments, your questions. You can find her at that website again. And I'm Dr. Angie. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, we're coming together to help others heal. Have a great day.
Thanks.